Hey everybody. So last video we talked about how to check whether or not you have a diastasis recti. Now we're going to talk about the basic do's and don'ts if you do have one. Okay? If you don't, you're off the hook. But the first thing we want to talk about is, we just talked about how you assess it. Throughout your activities, you should kind of continually be feeling your stomach. And if you feel that separation happening, then you're either not strong enough to do that activity yet, or you shouldn't do it at all. So some of them, once you learn how to brace, which we'll go over in a second, you can brace and do that activity. But if you don't brace, just feel right above or below the belly button. Even like leaning back or picking up your baby, or definitely trying to do some sort of abdominal crunch or something like that. When you're not sure whether or not it's safe to do it, feel above or below the belly button, and if you feel that separation opening or widening, then you're making it worse. If you're able to control it, then it's okay to do. So that way you're not stuck with I can only do these 3 exercises. You can be creative, you can move beyond that, and you can always be checking. So if you're able to close and control that when you do it, you're helping it. But if it's widening, you are literally making it worse. So stay away from any activity. And that can mean any activity that you feel that separation. It's not always things that you think. So let's talk about bracing. So one method that I was taught in PT school for bracing is literally to bring your arms across your body and pull it together. So you're literally just trying to approximate your muscles. So you have your separation here. So you're here pulling them together. I use this sometimes, but to be honest, I personally, having healed 2 diastasis recti now, don't feel that's super helpful. I do much better personally with the core control. We'll talk about in a second, but I do want you to have all the options. So what I think is most helpful is if you lay down, and a lot of people have heard of this before, but I'm going to go through it anyways. But see, as I go backwards, my separation would open. So I'm going to tuck, and I'll talk about it in a second, but I also am going to compensate by using my arms so that my core is not having to control this. So getting in and out of bed, use your arms to help you rather than pulling your abdominals apart if they're separated. So you're going to lay down, and to heal the separation, the very first exercise, it's very basic, is you want to feel this arch in your low back. We all have it, okay? So you want to gently tilt your pelvis backwards so that you're increasing the pressure into the hand on the floor. So you're tucking your pelvis backwards, you're drawing the belly button up and in gently, okay? Now my muscles are not tight. I'm not pushing down, I'm not bearing down. My stomach is pulling in, and it's almost like a dog tucking their tail between their legs, okay? So you're tilting backwards, pulling the belly button in. Your abdominals shouldn't really be hard. You're not contracting them. It's all just down here. And if you do Kegels, you can do a Kegel at the same time. They all work together. So you're pulling everything up and in, and it's a very gentle exercise. And to get the stabilization component, you want to make sure and hold it for at least 5 seconds. I think 5 seconds is a great starting place. So laying here, you'll tuck and gently draw that belly button down towards the floor. And you might feel a gentle closing of that separation. You certainly should not feel it separating further apart. And then after 5 seconds, you can relax. Okay, so that's the very, very most basic, but also the most important thing. To be able to do exercise for the core, you have to master that first. So once you've mastered that tilt and pulling that belly button in, then we can expand and teach you exercises that are in that same position but stabilize. Then I can teach you how to do it sitting, and we'll go into all of that next. But for today, I just want you to practice laying down, flattening that back, drawing that navel in, holding for 5 seconds, and relax. Because if you can't get that, the rest won't come easily. So focus on that, and I'll talk to you next video.